I've been waiting to review a plugin like this all of my life. I mean, for real.
Traptendo.
What is going on, people? So yeah, with a special review today, we're going to talk about the Chipsynth SFC, which is an emulation of the SNES S-SMP chipset. The chipset in itself is very, very special because you can look at it as a rompler synth, the SNES that is, but the actual cartridges themselves carried the sound. So if you want a better explanation, I'm going to link you to something at the top right of the screen here, and you can check out some of the great stuff from that company because they're the ones that created it, and I want to make sure that they get their just due on that. So I'm going to weigh in with my pros and cons. I'm going to show you some of the sounds, and I'm going to show you some of the cool things about it, and then I want you to check out the link in the description box and download the demo and decide if it's for you. So here it is in the flesh here. This is Chipsynth SFC. I'm going to play a typical trap demo first, and then I'm going to get into more of a composition type work. Okay, so let's go. There you go, trap heads. On this piece right here is pretty cool. So what I did right here is, as you can see, I utilized a different tool here, and you'll see what it is for a second here. I went to the player, and what this can do, and I'll get more details a little later, is it can play SFC files, you know, the files that you use to play compositions inside of the SNES here. So I played this familiar vibe here from Final Fantasy VI or 3 in the United States. Then I ripped all of the sounds, the unique echo and all that stuff, and just went in and did my own thing. Of course, using the hexachord or producer suite to do easy stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I want to walk you through some of the stuff here. I will say that it seems like on my system, it's not that CPU intensive, but for others that might not be running a 6-core processor, Intel processor, it might be a little bit more CPU intensive. You could just look right here at the top right side of the screen. So here is the UI in the flesh here, and it starts off with the classic SNES strings. Let's play something a little more. I'm playing on the keyboard. And you know, you can get a little bit more expressive than that, of course. And that is pretty cool. Like, I really like this sound, like this vibe. And if I was to go and navigate to the channel window, which I want to show you this, one of the main features that it has is this echo, which will give it a distinctive sound that you would know. So if I was to play those, that C minor chord progression again, you'll notice that that echo has kicked in. And if I go and joggle through some more, and it just really opens up that patch, and that starts to sell it more like how the sounds would be like inside of the SNES, and that's what I really like. One thing I am kind of like, oh, I wish they would have did it. If I go over here, you know, you'll see something is missing, and that's where I just start to be a little sad. And that is arpeggios. Now, true enough, most DAWs allow you to do arpeggios natively inside of there, no matter if it's a third-party plugin or one of their native plugins. So it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, I wish it was inside of this plugin right here. Also, as we're on the matrix screen, you have ways where you can set up your modulation. You can pick up a source. You know, you can pick out any source that you want. You know, if you had anything from pitch bend up, pitch bend down, and all that, random poly and step editor, just different sources that you can choose from. You could choose different channels, of course, and route different things into other things. You know, you don't have to have the same typical default SNES sounds. And really, you don't ever have to have that. You have your step area right here where you can choose the detune. And it's a bit of a mystery to me. I believe that's off. But nonetheless, here is something that I haven't really played with that much. And we'll talk about this player a little later. That's a separate area. I know, I keep teasing it. As we look at this unit here, again, this is technically kind of a rompler, and I don't want to downgrade it in that sense because this is specifically designed to be like the SNES. And in its essence here, you have different sounds, of course. Of course, one of the things that you can see here is that it has its default set that will be inside that is created by Sony because Sony made that chipset for the SNES, and you know how history goes. Now, everybody knows it has presets, so let's go ahead and go through some of them so you can hear them. So one of my favorite features here is something that I've been trying to talk about this whole entire video, and that is the player. So the player is pretty simple to understand. It can play SPC zip files and SP2 and RNS files. So I know that's going to puzzle people out there because you won't know where to get it, and this is where your award is for actually watching this whole entire review, and I will show you right here. So this is where you can get it at. It's called Zofer.net, and Zofer is a music domain where it allows you to get stuff. So per se, I want this. I can download the original music file right here. So you would just right click and then save link as, or whatever you're on. If you're on the MacBook, whatever process you do, and you can just download it from there. And you got plenty of stuff from all the SNES games that you can imagine. And you can also preview them. That's why I really like this website. All right, so we saw that we downloaded Samurai Showdown. You put it in a folder. You don't have to unzip it. And you're met with all this information. It will play, stop. You know, you can press play again. You can skip the track. And you can eject it. And you also can press where you can have it loop back and forward or continuous play. So, you know, you can have that going as well. But the most intriguing feature of this is basically it tells you the Samurai Showdown, which song, main theme and the person that composed it. So if you're not familiar with how this company rocks, well, you can grab those sounds too. So you have 3 unique samples here. You hear that flute, I can grab that flute, I can grab the echo, and then I can just go right into the channels and then select it. So I'm just gonna go over here, and since I have this over here, I can just go and just grab the main. And I have everything good to go. You know, I can continue to start my composition and go in here if I want to tweak everything just like how I would or anything else. I could do that, and you know, I could just save the preset if I wanted to for later on, or just continue to work on it or whatever. But also, you know, you can just go into the channels. You also can layer too as well, and just cool things that you could do as far as the sounds. All the sounds are there, so I just want to show you that. And that is the magic behind this. So what are my favorite SNES soundtracks? Let's go ahead and check some of those out. Boy, does that bring back memories. So you can set up your folders too as well. I just made an extra folder with my SPC files, and I just set it to it, and there we go. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's not difficult. And you also can change the speed of the soundtracks and stuff like that. You can detune them, and then also you can mute different parts. And what this essentially does when you do mute all this stuff or whatever, or mute certain parts or grab certain parts too as well, because if there's a specific instrument that you want to grab, you can do that. Well, you can. And it's really easy to do. Of course, you can solo. It says solo. I don't know why I would have to explain that. But yeah, really dope. Really dope plugin. So, tell me how you feel about this plugin. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section. How do you feel about it? I'm going to weigh in with my hot takes on this. So, I guess I could start off with the cons. I think it's important for me to focus on the things that I did not like about this plugin. Well, I mean, to be quite honest, I thought it would be a little bit more in terms of features, maybe a arpeggio of some sort, the echo, and that's where I start to come in with the pros, because the echo is spot on. Every individual game had its own type of echo or reverb to it, and that is the magic behind it. It's very tried and true as far as the 8 different channels. I really like how you can layer stuff up. And the biggest thing that I really like is the actual player that plays the SFC file. So it's a whole lot different than the C700, which is a free plugin, and you have to unzip things and all that. You don't have to. You get to see who the composers are, so you get to, get a good taste of information that comes with these SFC files. And, that's all you can really ask for in a plugin itself. Yes, it sounds just like the SNES, and that is the biggest thing. I've done my fair share of research and even tried to build my own emulation of this, and got beat to the punch by a talented guy. Shout out to you, David. You really did a really good job. Do I give this the stamp of approval? Well, I hate to be a little petty, but I say 98%. I'll give you the full 100.